You're a grown man! He's a robot cat! Pull yourself together! Seriously.
Hi. I'm Bobby. I am a robot cat. Welcome to your weekly community news. My dear viewers, you should all know that I am at your service when it comes to delivering you the happenings amongst your community. Some may say, well, you only cover a specific community. Indeed. However, were I to cover issues across the internet, I do believe an eventual straitjacket would be in order. Do they make straitjackets for cats? Never mind. As is the new format, this shall also be a community chat. Afterwards, if you are watching it on the replay, I do appreciate you. This week, quite a bit happened across platforms and communities. I may have missed bits here and there. For this I do apologize. As I am only one cat. Let us just get right into it. Let us get to the micro news. A string of mildly relevant happenings. First up, Big Tex is popping back up on YouTube. She appears to have a tyrannical radar that draws her back to the platform to cause drama. Only to hide back under her rock. Never mind. The internet would appreciate her extended absence. Everyone's favorite tarot reader, who also will wipe her ass with your name if you dare cross her, Caroline Ironwill, took a break from scolding the internet for engaging in drama, to engage in drama. She took to her channel to perform a reading on Roadhog and his wife. She titled the video as also including Teaspiracy. Yet, the entire video was not a reading at all. 'Tis simply her speculating on the swine's romantic relationship. Only to ultimately give advice to Mrs. Roadhog. And encourage her to leave her husband. In an almost unheard of shift in the universe, Roadhog responded politely. He asked her to cease readings on his family without his permission. Carolyn, who often demeans others for engaging, took to her channel again to create a video mocking Roadhog while cooking bacon. As well as tweeting several times about his weight. I shall be the one to say it. There. Lesser swine simply requires extended time in the barn to reach proper scales for never mind. With risk of Caroline wiping her ass with my existence, madam. You are ridiculous. Moving on. Tyrannical finally half-assed denounced Roadhog. Yet, in a video to follow doubles down and states that no person online can convince her that Roadhog is abusive toward women on the internet.
No, Roadhog has not. He has not displayed abusive behavior in my opinion. But what does that have to do with me? For the final time, I do not consider him abusive, vile, messy. Says she never agree with. And much more, honey. Honestly, most of you goof-ass broads deserve it. Even though I know some shouldn't have even been discussed. But abusive? No. My opinion, like it or leave it, he does the most. And I disagree with half of what he says and does. He has yet, in the last month that I found him, has shown Tira that he is an abusive man.
Wow. Moving on. It is unavoidable to speak about the current dramas surrounding problematic creator Roadhog, who has now changed his name to Boss Hog. Where do I even begin? After several tyrannical rants against mostly women in the community, he managed to get himself caught in several difficult situations. First of all, his wife was caught using a sock account to dox not another housewife. He was also caught red-handed with inappropriate material not of the mainstream variety. He initially claimed that he purposely put it there to upset his detractors. He later changed his statement to say sometimes he looks at weird content. He then later doubled down and blamed his own wife for the R-word and incest material. Wow. It was not long after that I caught him red-handed creating a new YouTube channel too, which he is attempting to be a canine version of myself. to offer community weekly news, like myself. I discovered this when he spammed my channel with links to this new contents. The issue would be that he accidentally spammed it with his real account as well. In light of this, he continued with his disability shaming, body shaming, and has lost many supporters in the process. The internet was in an uproar when Roadhog crashed his wife's stream because he was angry that Aaron from the channel EKC People Suck was in T-Spiracy's chat. In his typical man-baby tantrum, he screamed and raged on. He also called the community a bunch of R-words, a derogatory term for the disabled that he denounced only days prior. For what it's worth, he would later double down and refuse to apologize for this. In that latest tyrannical raging, he yelled at Steve McRae that he was going to cancel all of their previous deals, leaving many to wonder what dirty deeds were happening between himself and Steve McRae. Never mind. In the midst of this, an account popped up called The Watcher. This channel began to dox Roadhog's family. I spoke out on this and was met with much backlash from said channel. Strangely, Roadhog was sharing this channel's content within hours of it uploading. Sometimes he was taking the content and its full form and uploading it to his channel without a care of being hit with a copyright strike. Interesting. I'm sure I have missed a few things. However, in recent days he alleged that the channel threatened the life of his 13-year-old, causing much discussion across platforms as the video seems to more threaten to contact his ex-wife whom he is in a custody battle with. Roadhog will be Roadhog, and decided to decipher hidden clues himself and come to the conclusion that the channel was run by a creator I have discussed many times before. DIY with Dean. Well, he alleges that Dean admitted he was this channel. Others argue that Dean responded after the fact and mentioned this channel in that response. It is still up in the air whether or not Dean truly created the channel, and I have my own ideas about who it actually.
Okay, so I've got a bone to pick with somebody. Recaps with Bobby makes a video yesterday talking about how his behavior is so much far more superior than mine. Okay?
Not only did Recaps with Bobby imply that Mr. Roadhog, his wife, then does not offer an apology or a retraction. Okay, first and foremost, if I apologize to anybody, I am sorry. I am sorry, but you know what? When I'm on a roll, I'm on a roll. When I'm on a roll, I'm on a roll. When I'm on a roll, I'm on a roll.
Never mind. In response to what he perceived as a threat, he took to his channel to post images of the home and repeat the address of Marissa and Dean dozens of times, encouraging his 70-year-old grandmas, who happened to also be his cult following, to go to their home and physically harm them. He also threatened to go there and physically harm them himself. Immediately as the stream ended, he deleted the evidence, only to make several more videos. One video he did apologize for the dox, but doubled down on his wish for others to go to their home and physically harm them.
I will tell you, just like I'm going to say again, because I'm going to get off here and just go relax. He gets what he gets, and so does his wife. His children are the innocent people in this, and they should never have any harm coming towards them. No one should do anything to anybody while those little kids are around. And I'm begging you, please don't do that.
He is almost like a Walmart version of The Sopranos. Never mind. My dear viewers, I do not see any good coming from this. And I tend to remain skeptical, as any reasonable man would contact law enforcement as opposed to vigilante justice while sitting in an office chair eating Hot Pockets. Never mind. One would think that if he did go to the coppers, that his retaliatory threats would do him no favors. But this is a man who boosts his own ego by degrading communities full of the disabled and women. Moving on. Will you stop that?
I'm going to wait. It's been a long day, you guys. Okay.
Today on Lunatic's Island, Catherine Joy shall share with us the importance of discussing CP in great detail. Otherwise, we are bad.
Crimes
Very
of
bad.
Child exploitation online. And I was just thinking about how I have a 9-year-old, and I was like, I can't imagine my son being assaulted and then having that video end up online, and thinking
What the fuckery, Catherine?
about what kind of ramifications that would be for him, like how overwhelmingly like violating that would be to him. Not only that, but it's just like the kind of people that would be watching that. Like, what kind of horrific human being are you that gratifies you?
Why are you imagining your son in this scenario for any reason at all?
And I just think it's phenomenal that there are men and women that dedicate their lives to doing the really hard work that so many people would never want to do. I was thinking about how these agents in Josh's case, and mind you, Josh's case represents one case. This is like one case. Agent Faulkner has done more than 1,000 of these cases. That means on a day-to-day basis, agents like Gerald Faulkner and Howard Aycock are having to watch some of the most horrific content of children in an effort to identify children, to identify the predators, and to save the kids if they are in captive, if they have been enslaved, if they have been kidnapped, if they have been trafficked, and then on top of that, imprisoning the monsters that are doing this.
You act as if you are surprised that real detectives do not sit on Instagram fantasizing about paper napkins.
And I can't imagine like how hard that kind of job would have to be for someone. So if you are someone that knows anyone that works in that field, just tell them thank you. Thank you for protecting children.
These jobs are typically protected, undercover work. You idiot.
Thank you for doing the hard work that so many of us wouldn't want to do. And I think of like how people get so upset about when you even talk about it. And I thought, gosh, could you imagine if it was your child that was on the internet and somebody said to you, I don't want to hear you talk about that? I mean, put yourself in the position of the parent who has the child who's been victimized not only by someone, but then also it's been filmed. And then that child is being re-victimized every single time that video is reshared in these peer-to-peer networks.
Catherine, I assure you that no victim would want you handling their experience. With your creepy reenactments and fantasy speculation.
Horrible. And if we as a society can't stomach that and we can't deal with it, then the problems don't go away.
Do you remember the time you picked your face and grinned like a baboon with a birthday cake, while calling these women sperm vessels? Weirdo.
I feel like the reason why half this stuff exists is because no one talks about it. Nobody wants to talk about it because it's the same thing that happens with parents of children that have, and I'm not trying to say this is like about me, I'm just saying,
yes,
like,
you are.
People don't like it when children get hurt. They don't want to hear about children getting hurt. People don't like hearing about kids being sick. People don't want to hear when something goes wrong with kids. It doesn't fit their narrative of the happy life that children are supposed to have. And so anytime something bad happens to a kid, whether it's illness or something like this, a horrible, horrible victimization, people just don't want to talk about it because it makes them uncomfortable. But if it makes you uncomfortable, imagine the family that's going through that, and imagine how alone they must feel.
I would assume it makes them much more uncomfortable to have someone like you describe the actions on these children in such great detail. It's almost as if you've downloaded Nevermind.
If everyone around them is telling them that they don't want to hear it. Like, imagine the trauma that that family goes through when they don't have anyone to talk to about it. And then if they do talk about it, people are like, oh, I can't deal with that. That's so heavy. Could you just keep that to yourself? Could you just stop talking about that? That's inappropriate. If it hurts to hear about it and it hurts to talk about it, that's the point.
No, you weirdo, this is not the point. This is not helpful.
If it makes you feel uncomfortable, it should. It should. You should feel uncomfortable. There's nothing comfortable about what's happened. It's people that refuse to get out of their comfort zone, that refuse to deal with it, that the problems fester. And sticking your head in the sand and ignoring it doesn't make the problem go away. And then telling people to shut up about it just makes victims feel like they can't say anything. So if you're going to follow me, you're either going to deal with what I cover, or you can just not follow.
Excellent idea.
Like, there's really no need to consistently point out to people that are trying to spread the word that it's too depressing, or it's too much, or it's too this, or it's too that. Like, no one's forcing you to watch. No one's forcing you to follow. No one forced you to press the follow button. No one forced you to watch that video. No one's forcing you to be here. I just hope that if you're here, you're listening, and you're not here to fight, and you're not here to prove someone wrong, and you're not here to call someone a name, and you're not here to say, so-and-so is obsessed or this or that. Like, the point should be about the kids, and the point should be about the abuse. It shouldn't be about what the messenger is telling you about what's happening.
You impossible nutter. Do you realize that each time you discuss the unnecessary details of these things, you are not only re-victimizing the children the same as it would to view the content, you are attracting the very people who rather enjoy such topics for the wrong reasons. You are the problem. You loon. My dear viewers, this concludes your community news. Bear in mind that much can happen by the time this video reaches you. Any updates I shall add to a separate video. Much gratitude for all of you. Cheers.